I want to prove that I can be independent, that I can survive, and that I can make decisions for myself.
Yes, I love it. I'm actually rooting for these women right here. I want them to prove society wrong.
A few minutes later.
God damn it. Yo, what is good, guys? Hope you're doing well. I am Jay Hall, and I'm back again with another video. Alright guys, in this video, I will be breaking down Season 2, Episode 2 of The Island by Bear Grylls.
I'm about to abandon 14 British women on a remote, uninhabited Pacific island.
So this season is pretty much to test how well modern women can survive in a remote island with limited basic technology.
I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you guys. It is going to be hard. It's going to be hard physically. It's going to be hard emotionally.
And in the upcoming video, I'm going to break down the men's.
Somehow that's my fault.
I've had no sleep for 4 days.
Neither has anybody. I've had nothing to.
So stay tuned for that. So without further ado, let's get into it, man.
And the thing to remember is positivity, positivity, positivity.
All right, so let's go ahead and introduce our contestants. So we have a doctor.
They have makeup, how beautiful they are. When all of that's gone on the island, I think it all comes down to what sort of a person you are.
And then we have a camera woman.
Want to do this right? I think you're going to be slightly off your tree. Beings, it's the closest we're going to come to a reboot.
And we have a potter.
I want my daughter to know that her mum is actually quite brave and she's not just this person that's there to make tea.
And we also have a nurse.
Looking forward to going back to the hunter-gatherer, our animalistic roots and finding your own food.
So pretty much these are normal, modern women trying to prove that they can survive this challenge.
I'm doing this because I can't, but I'm eager to see if I can.
Let's see how she does.
Look at my fucking hands. I'm a hairdresser. And, I can't afford this.
Don't want to continue.
That's perfectly fair.
On the island, all of us girls, I think we will not only survive, but I think we'll thrive.
So right before they even start the challenge and get on the island, this woman just starts to break down.
It's the thought of being all night, no dry clothes and no fire, because we have to make mistakes.
Don't think about it, don't think about it. Just one by one.
It's gonna take
We'll just cuddle each other tonight.
Listen guys, I don't mean to just, I'm not laughing at her, I'm just laughing at the situation. The challenge hasn't even started yet and she's already crying. What the hell? She's talking about, oh, we're gonna have to build sticks, we're gonna have wet clothes. It's a survival challenge. What did you expect? A hotel room with a TV and a bed? And room service? Is that what you expected? that was probably the funniest moment in the video for me, guys. I had to point it out. Alright, so now they're actually on the island and they have to try to find a safe spot to camp. And while doing so, one of the girls ran into a snake.
What? Oh. Right, stay still. We've got dinner. What is it? Snake. It's right now.
And just as a funny comparison, this is how the men reacted to the snake.
Mind you, no, don't do that, for fuck's sake. Should we just leave it? Didn't even flinch.
And to be honest, y'all, I am terrified of snakes. But if I was on an island and I'm doing a survival challenge, fuck all that fear shit, bro. I am ripping that snake apart if it tries to attack me, okay? It's all adrenaline. It's all or nothing at that point. I'm not gonna be scared of nothing because I gotta survive. That's all that matters.
I'm gonna fucking die on this island.
You're not gonna die.
All right, so while this girl is freaking out about a snake, the other girls in the group are trying to figure out which direction to go.
Do you want to lead the way? Make a decision. You lead the way. Anywhere you think it looks the clearest.
So when you get on the island, the first thing you gotta do is find a nice spot to camp. One that's preferably by the beach.
The women have decided to abandon their search for a beach and set up camp in the jungle, taking their chances with the deadly critters.
Well, that sounds like a brilliant idea. And when I watched the men's episode, they kept going until they got to the beach. They weren't gonna give up.
Here, quicker than it is on the beach. I say we plough on. I found the sea.
But the girls gave up pretty quickly when it came to finding a beach. So now they decided to camp, and then it ended up raining that night, and this is what happened.
It will mean that there's no heat at all, so we will go to bed cold and damp.
So after that whole rainy situation, I have to give the girls props. They managed to make a fire and actually cook some food up to eat.
Despite lack of sleep, Julie's playing mum and has rustled up a little breakfast.
So now they're still determined to find a beach, so they decide to split up into two groups.
So one group's going to go look, and one group's going to stay here.
And emotions are going all over the place.
Or can't you channel your anger through somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm angry with Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Listen, he wasn't the one that forced you to do this challenge, all right? You signed up for this. You can't be angry at my guy, Bear Grylls. Come on now. So with all these mixed emotions just flying around, the other group managed to find the beach. All right, so they got to the beach, they found some coconuts, but they couldn't find a stable water source.
The expedition party have discovered a beach, but they're yet to find a permanent water source.
And by sundown, the rain hit again.
We huddled under about, well, all of the palm fronds that we found.
And since they didn't have a shelter to protect the fire, it ended up going out.
It just made the fire die. It's just gone out.
The situation is critical.
And one thing I did notice about the men is that they tried desperately to build a shelter to protect the fire.
After a desperate struggle, the group managed to save their fire with a small temporary shelter. But the men themselves had no protection from the elements.
So after a few days of just walking around, this girl started to have panic attacks.
And we'll have our ups and downs, but let's not bitch.
I'm sorry.
No, come and sit here.
And it's only a few days into the challenge.
Don't talk.
Just come and sit here. Come and sit on the comfy chair. And sit there.
Yep, it's not looking too good out here. They started with a mindset to complete the challenge, but now it's like the island is just breaking them apart, mentally and physically.
Tension in the camp are really high. Oh my gosh. It's just so hard. I'm not gonna leave this, so I've got this for I don't know how many days.
Alright, and if you guys want to see me break down the men's version, hit that like button and stay tuned and subscribe because it is coming next.
What are you worrying about?
I'm not worried about anything. I'm fascinated by the change in everything suddenly because the men are here.
A few minutes later.
After 8 days, Hannah asks for an evacuation from the island. 5 days ago, I marooned a group of 8 women and a group of 8 men on a remote Pacific island.
Listen, man, so if you didn't see the first part of this video, it's in the description below, right there for you to check it out. All right, so this is the second episode of season 3 of The Island by Bear Grylls. So in the last episode, it ended with the women and men discovering each other for the first time. And this is how that went.
I'm so pleased to see someone.
So some people were happy about this encounter.
So excited! We've got some more hands! So you brought us boys!
And some people weren't.
I'm fascinated by the change in everything suddenly because the men are here. Suddenly we're helpless women.
And there's upsides and downsides for the men and women to come together. Upside, they have extra hands to help out. Downsides, it's men and women. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they will get along.
It's gonna be tougher than they think.
So now the women are welcoming the men into their camp with wide open arms.
So this is like our kind of bed area.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it needs improvement.
And this is the men's opinion on the camp.
The area the girls are staying on is awful. It's absolutely infested.
It's crackers this, isn't it? Yeah, you can't stay here, it's just mud.
This camp is a godforsaken place.
I bet he won't say that with his chest in front of the girls though. But pretty much the girls' camp is awful. It is dumpster juice and booty hole.
With the famished men.
But lucky for them, these women are pretty kind and welcoming, so they offer them food.
So, how good does that taste, mate? Absolutely sensational now. This is the first proper mouthful of food I've had.
Yeah.
And then they proceeded to offer them the shitty water from the last episode. And for those of you that didn't see the last breakdown, the girls got water from this swampy ass lagoon. And they boiled the water, but that's not enough to get rid of all the germs and bacteria in the water. So they have been drinking this bacteria infested water and getting themselves sick.
Some of the women have been sick ever since they started drinking water from a stagnant lagoon. They don't know it, but it's slowly poisoning them.
And the whole time they keep drinking the water, not knowing that it is the water that's making them sick. So now they're offering this water to the men.
Still unaware their water is polluted, Erica offers it to the men.
It's so disgusting. Don't taste it.
It's just brackish. Oh my god, Rob's gagged. You actually can't drink that.
The stuff that they collected is swampy. It's got bits in it. It tastes and smells absolutely vile. It can't be good for you at all. Can't be good.
So the men are flabbergasted. bamboozled and appalled by the state of this water. The water itself smells and tastes like vomit. So now they ask the girls to show them where they got the water because they have to investigate this bullshit.
Welcome to our lagoon.
Holy shit.
Hep A, Hep B, topped with Hep C, and a small layer of typhoid. Anyone fancy a drink?
Hell no, I'm not trying to drink that. So let's go back and see what the men are talking about.
Have you seen the camp? Shit, it's disgusting, mate. Our 1 day, we're better than that. There's more firewood there than they've had in 5 days.
So the men are literally appalled at the state of the women's camp. So now they want to take over and take charge to steer this in a better direction. But we have a tiny problem.
Very open. I embrace life. I embrace people. But I don't take any shit. After my divorce, everything was on my shoulders.
So she was pretty much a thought back in the day. She was definitely a part of the sexual liberation movement back in the day and probably still is. She's all about being strong and independent. But she's also one of the strongest women on the team. Almost to the point that she is too strong and too hard-headed to work with the group. I still hate this man right here. I hate his guts, bro. He is still a bum. If you guys don't remember him from the last episode, he was the guy that was crying after minutes of landing on the island.
I don't know why I'm getting emotional.
He's probably crying.
He is still a bitch. You will see why in the next breakdown, man.
I had trouble with men, being a very tough bird that does her own thing.
Grab mine and I'll grab Erica's.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
The man offered to help her, but she said she's good. She doesn't want to seem like a damsel in distress. But that's not the point of this, though.
Erica, do you want me to grab it?
No, I'm comfortable, thank you. It's that assumption that, you know, you're just a bird, you're just a woman, and get out of the way.
Listen, we're working as a team. We are a group. We are surviving. Leave all that feminist crap off the island, man. I don't give a single flying fuck. She's over here saying, oh, I'm not a damsel in distress. I could do this. But thanks to the men, the women are now drinking clean water.
After days of forcing down polluted water, the women can at last rehydrate.
It's not the best water I've ever had.
The women are actually grateful except Miss Tits. And this is further exemplified when the men are trying to make a plan to get to a better camp. But Miss Tits right here is being combative.
So further down there, there's a nice area which is cleared.
It's that vision of the sea.
Completely open. And that's
Otherwise I'm staying behind or leaving.
Look, that is not a mentality to have amongst a group, a survival group. We have to stick together.
Set 2 sleeping areas up.
I'm not sleeping here. I'm going to sleep next door, but that's fine. Why?
And she's still fighting. What's your problem? Don't you see I'm trying to help y'all? Why you keep fighting me? Damn. She about 96 and she's still fighting, bro. She's still fighting.
What are you worrying about? I'm not worried about anything. I'm fascinated.
But yeah, she is super stubborn, man. And that's why she was the one that took charge with just the women. And now that the men are here, she hates it because she wants to be in charge. Let's go ahead and listen to her take on this situation.
By the change in everything suddenly because the men are here. Suddenly we're helpless women. It will reduce our own satisfaction in doing things because they're already sort of taking over.
So she notices that the women have become more soft and are not doing as much. The men are here now taking charge and the women are being more laid back. That's just nature. That's what naturally happens. And it's not about being helpless women. It's about knowing your roles and working together. Take a look at how the veteran interacts with the men and kind of like points them in the direction of what they should do.
No trees cut down, we just want all the greenery gone. So it's basically just a clear floor.
Army veteran Hannah is glad the men have arrived.
Miss, can I give you a job?
I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Good leadership can come from anywhere. If you're a good leader, you're just a good leader. She's actually one of my favorite people in this series right here because she's doing all of this with one leg. She has an amputated leg, guys, and she hasn't been complaining at all. Unlike this bitch right here that cried the first day. He pissed me off so much. But she is a veteran and she's been through a lot of trauma and it creeped up on her.
After 8 days, Hannah asks for an evacuation from the island.
And this is the only time that I actually approve and agree with an evacuation. Because usually the people that leave are just a bunch of bitches.
I don't know why I'm getting emotional.
He's probably crying.
The greatest girl in the world.
Man, you're amazing. Just seeing her in that much pain
It's heartbreaking.
So they went through a thunderstorm that triggered her trauma.
It was just like when we used to get bored doing that. I used to lie there and think I won't get home to my little girl.
Her mind basically tricked her body into reliving that trauma where she lost her leg. So all those feelings and sensations were coming back and she was in literal pain all over. Even though her leg is amputated, it's not there anymore, it's healed, but her mind is tricking her body and she is in literal psychological pain. So there's not much you can do about that. It's psychological and you are of no use to the group in a state like that. So evacuation is definitely the best decision.
I'm so proud of you. I really, really hope that when she gets better, she doesn't regret leaving.
Guys, that is all I have for this breakdown in this episode. Stay tuned for the next one, man.
Women definitely need men. That's a fact.
For survival?
Yes.
Definitely not.
No.
For survival. How am I alive right now?
Alright guys, so I pulled up a clip from the show Survivor where the men are competing against the women to see who can survive the best and thrive. And just take a look at what happens a week into the challenge.
We've been crapped on since we've been here. We got 0 sleep last night.
Alright y'all, make sure you hit the like button to see the rest of the video. Let's get it.
What is it that you think we need y'all for? I would love to know. What do we need y'all for?
How much I hate men and why I hate men.
You're all replaceable. Don't ever get too comfortable and don't ever think otherwise.
Who hurt you?
We do need men though. We do.
We don't need them because no, because they're lesbians.
And for men, the scientists have now discovered a way for women to impregnate themselves using their own bone marrow. And the only child that can result from those pregnancies are female. So we no longer have any need for you, genetically or physically.
Does she not realize the amount of hatred that is coming out of her mouth right now? Who hurt you? I really want to know. And I sincerely apologize on the behalf of all the men that have done you wrong. Because wow, you need some love in your life. You're filled with hatred. I'm sorry. You a hating machine!
I don't need a man like
You need a physical woman to bear a child for you.
And y'all need a physical sperm. Where does it come from?
From a hospital.
That's
I can
right
get it
now.
from a
Give it to
hospital.
From a man.
But a hospital, I can look for a book and find a man.
And I can find a womb to hold it in. And find a what?
Surrogates.
And you need a physical man to give you sperm.
You
need a physical man.
No, you. Bro,
you need a physical.
Listen.
Yes.
You don't.
Listen.
If a physical man didn't go to that hospital, it would not be there. So you need a physical man, bro.
She's trying so hard to fight against the logic, to fight against the fact that she does need a man because where does sperm come from? A man. But I don't have to say much because we also have women that are sensible and that are speaking up for men.
So we no longer have any need for you, genetically or physically.
Sweetie, it's the men that hold me back from drop kicking people like you across the floor for some of the foolishness that you say. Y'all women are simply not physically strong enough to hold me back from my unbridled rage at some of the foolishness y'all come up with. Like, babe, I know you mean well. For the women, I really don't think you care about the men. But babe, just know that if they didn't exist, all of the people that put up with what you talk about would vanish. There are some girls that exclusively hang out with boys because they put up with some of the stuff that they say that other girls simply would not. I would rather be locked in the center of the earth with the only thing to keep me company is the screams of the tortured souls in hell than live in an all-female planet. I said what I said. By the way, just to add more insult to injury, it's actually really sexist for you to behave that way towards men.
And here's some more.
Throughout all of history, we needed men. We still need men. We just don't admit it. Like men built the world for us. We couldn't survive without them. They do the plumbing, the sewers, the garbage collectors. They build the buildings, engineering. They do all of the hard jobs in society. And so women pretend we don't need them, but we literally couldn't survive without them. Being able to be a single woman on your own is such a privilege that women have never gotten in all of society.
And you know why?
And how we thank them is we shit on the men that.
And that is a YouTuber called Just Pearly Things. You guys can go ahead and check out her channel. But guys, before we get further into this video, I just want to say I am Jay Hall. If you're new, subscribe, man, because I try to keep it real and I also try to keep it balanced. I am a firm believer that men and women are built to live in harmony. We are like yin and yang, and when we come together, we create perfect balance and harmony. But if you guys want to check out more content from me, I do have an Instagram. You guys can follow me over there. I do respond to DMs, and I also have a second channel where I post behind the scenes videos and just more fun, interactive videos over there. So with that said, let's get into it, man.
Ladies, I simply said men don't need women for survival. But we do need you guys to propagate a society. However, let's reverse it. Women definitely need men. That's a fact.
For survival?
Yes.
Definitely not.
No. For survival.
How am I alive right now?
Yeah,
I got no
I'm
man.
like,
I
let's go back a couple years.
Alright guys, so I pulled up a clip from the show Survivor where the men are competing against the women to see who can survive the best and thrive. And just take a look at what happens a week into the challenge. So they have no food, no fire, their clothes are soaked, and they're freezing.
We've been crapped on since we've been here. We got 0 sleep last night. We stayed up the entire night, froze, soaking wet, and we haven't had fire because it rained and put it out, so now we haven't eaten.
So at the brink of survival, let's see what they do next.
Hey boys!
Where you going? They're gonna call the men for help.
Y'all have fire, do you?
Do I have fire?
Yeah.
They are sounding like damsels in distress, because you can see they're using their girly voice.
Can we go buy your fire dryer?
Sure, go over there. Go right now.
And that really appeals to our protective side because we are meant to protect women.
I just want to be warm for like 1 minute.
The masculine energy is meant to protect the feminine energy. It's just programmed within us. And this is why it damn near irritates us when a girl acts like one of us. Cause like, how am I gonna protect you if you're acting like me? You're acting like a man. So how am I gonna protect you? You're not appealing to my protective side, my protective programming.
I was thankful last night that we stuck to our guns a little bit after tribal and didn't run over and jump in the men's shelter.
This lady right here is probably one of the most confident women and the one that was bragging the most about beating the men. Yeah, we're gonna beat the men. We can show them that we can survive better than them and we're gonna thrive. Feminism!
But going over there this morning, I have no shame. I've never been so miserable.
When it comes to survival, all that feminism and gender equality stuff goes out the window. Everyone just naturally goes into their roles without even talking about it.
I couldn't get my tail over there to that fire fast enough. Come on, guys.
Ladies.
Oh, hey guys. Didn't see you guys coming.
But I hope this is a temporary pit stop at the men's camp. I don't think any of the girls want to stand over there. It's uncomfortable mooching off of them. I mean, they're all like, excuse me, move.
So this just goes to show you that when it comes to survival, all that feminism and gender equality crap just goes out the window. Everyone just naturally goes within their roles. You know what I'm saying? It's just in modern society in this first world country, feminism can exist. Because when we're in a first world country, no one needs to do this shit to survive. We're in our comfortable air-conditioned home, chilling on our bed with our phones right in front of our face, typing about how much the patriarchy sucks, how much men sucks. In the grand scheme of things, I don't see us surviving without each other. This is what would happen if all men left the planet.
What happened if every boy on Earth disappeared? First, half the world's population would vanish, and the ladies left would have the time of their lives until they realize they're out of water. That's because almost all the water treatment plant operators are actually men. Then the entire globe's power would go out that night because men make up 90% of electricians, engineers, and mechanics. But it gets worse. Over 70% of the world leaders would be gone, causing a global apocalypse and the extinction of the human race.
And this is what would happen if all women were wiped off the earth.
What would happen if every girl on Earth disappeared?
Hey, this is the wrong video. I don't know who made this, bro. Whoever made this is a jackass.
Every girl on Earth disappeared. So about 4 billion girls would be wiped out and the boys would be left to fend for themselves. And about 70% of people in the medical field are actually women. So people would be dying left and right. Then the entire school system would collapse because most college students and professors are actually female. On top of that, 30 countries would lose their leaders and the world would fall into chaos. Then the boys would be left alone to go extinct.
I personally didn't know that 70% of the medical field were women. But one thing I don't agree with her is that people will be down left and right. If all the women are wiped out, that means the population is severely reduced, which means we won't need as many doctors. So I just put this video together to hopefully show you guys that we are indeed two sides to the same coin. We are yin and yang. Men and women have their differences for good reason, and that's what the creator intended. There's no hate in my heart for anyone. I just want to show people love and show people the truth. And with that said, I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace out. Yo, what is good, y'all? I'm J Hall, and I'm back again with another one. Alright, so for today's video, I have another survival TV show to break down for you guys. This one is called Naked and Afraid.
I'm not here to hook up or check out my partner or anything. We're here for a survival challenge.
Unlike the last survival shows I broke down, in this show, you have to already be a survival expert. You have to know your way around surviving in a jungle or surviving on an island. So tell me why this woman seems like she lied on her resume. And that's based on her performance in this episode. She pretty much seemed like she didn't know what she was doing. And on top of that, she was lazy and a little bit stuck up.
Sorry you're having issues, but I don't have any issues as far as getting food.
She could not pull her weight at all, and it made her teammates mad.
I'll tell you what.
You can't say all that stuff to me.
I can't.
It's not true.
You have been handed everything.
Are you kidding? I traveled the world.
Alright, y'all, but before we dive into this video, make sure you subscribe to my other channel where I post great content over there as well. And follow me on Instagram. I do respond to DM. With that said, let's get into it. So let's go and introduce our first two contestants, Cassie and Forrest. Alright guys, this is Naked and Afraid, so both people have to meet naked. And I cannot show that on YouTube without getting age restricted. But just know, the guy tried to make the meeting less awkward by jiggling his thing.
Okay.
But that actually made it more awkward.
A little weirded out. Yeah. Goes
Yeah, is what it is. I don't think it's that bad.
It's a little weird.
So off the bat, she didn't come in with the best attitude. And in her defense, that thing my guy Forrest did, it was a little creepy, you know what I'm saying? I know he was trying to break the ice, but he did a little bit too much. So you're on a TV show, and you see a girl that you're supposed to cooperate with, and you decide to just wiggle your thing all over the TV screen. I don't want to see that. Apparently she doesn't want to see it either.
As far as being with Forrest naked, it was awkward enough. And then for him to just do that weird, wacky jump up in the air, I was just like, oh God.
Cassie described Forrest as being rather full-figured.
She was expecting Tarzan.
Yes, she was expecting the Chad, the Vincent, the Josh. But there are two other people on the island, and this is how they interacted.
Manu?
Yeah.
I'm Russell. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Officially.
Officially? Let's
All
make
right.
an agreement right now.
What's that?
Each other's back.
Almost definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
this is definitely team right here. All right. You good with that, hon? All right.
A lot more laid back, a lot more cordial. They seem like they're gonna make a great team. They seem like they're gonna have each other's backs. So now let's see how the teams are holding up in a rainy, freezing night.
And it was way difficult.
It's freezing and we're soaked. I mean, literally, as I sit here, I can feel the boards shaking underneath me from my partner shivering.
I feel like I'm in the jungle.
I know, right? So, night one in the jungle, in the shelter.
So both teams are experiencing harsh conditions, but as a result of the dynamic between the two teams, they react to the conditions differently.
First night staying there, we didn't sleep. It was more of a chance for us to really get to know each other. We stayed up the whole night laughing, telling jokes, giggling. It was like a slumber party in that shelter. We were just hanging out, two best friends.
So one group spent the night getting to know each other and just laughing and giggling. Oh, all shits and giggles. While the other team were just miserable. So now let's see how the teams handle surviving during the day.
Forrest and Cassie have a shelter that breaks down because Cassie is incompetent at survival, and she would rather spend more time arguing with Forrest about how good she is than be comfortable in a working shelter.
And that was a voice of Think Before You Sleep. Shout out to him. If you guys want to see like a whole full-ass breakdown of the entire episode, the link will be in the description.
Well, that's not a good one to use.
Well then,
Oh, that's the one you just used.
if I were looking back on it, as far as making the shelter, it was a little bit problematic because we both had different views as to how we wanted to do it.
I mean, she just buried that stick 2 inches. You know, I understand she's tired, but just can't do that or we're gonna do this again.
So now Cassie is really starting to prove that she's gonna be useless on this entire experience.
So can I give a suggestion? Go to open it. Instead of going from the side, go top down and go in.
I don't think that he respects my skills because everything he talks to me about, he's like, oh, you know how to do this? Have you heard of this? Do you know this?
So the green ones are, obviously, as you know, really good moisture is.
It acts like I've never even been outside in my life before.
It's not the fact that he doesn't respect your skills, it's just the fact that you haven't shown any skills whatsoever. He wants both of you guys to survive on this island. He sees that you don't know what you're doing, so he's just trying to help you out. And instead of watching and seeing how he does it, she's complaining.
Oh, you know how to do this? Have you heard of this? Do you know this?
Now let's see how the other team is doing.
Oh my God! Is that what I think it is? You are so my hero.
He brought her a coconut and she was grateful. Now that's a dream team right there. That's the team I would want to be on. Yes, sir.
There was a point when we ended up spotting an orange tree.
And guys, and this is how I just know she lied on her resume, because she couldn't knock some oranges off a tree. How could you not do that? You have a stick in your hand. Just hit it.
When we were there and the orange thing happened, I was finally so happy. I was like, yes, here's something that Cassie can do. This will boost her morale. It couldn't be any easier than knocking some oranges out of a tree. I've already cut the darn stick and put it there. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than this.
See, look, he's trying to make it easier for her. He's trying to make her feel better, and she still has the nerve to put him down and saying he's demeaning her survival skills. He's literally trying to help her out.
I went to hit it, I couldn't get it, and at that point I was like, you know, I need to give up right now.
You didn't get any?
Yeah, what else is new?
So as the episode goes by, she just keeps proving over and over again that she lied on her resume. She lied.
Sorry you're having issues, but I don't have any issues as far as getting food when I need to.
She really just tried to gaslight him right there. That's crazy. That is crazy. Now let's see what the other team thinks of Cassie.
I just expected something better, you know what I mean? I just had better expectations, perhaps. I don't know.
I kind of told you both from the beginning.
She's very unmotivated and hasn't displayed any survival skills whatsoever.
If a woman is holding another woman accountable, you know you messed up. Because that never happens. That never happened. Why is my voice high?
Everybody has to contribute. Nobody's riding for free on this ride. She shouldn't be out here at all. She's been surviving off of everybody else. That is her survival skill. She's a leech. She's a parasite.
My guy just came out and just said everything that was on his mind. He said being a leech is her only survival skill. That's crazy. So now, obviously Cassie was hearing all the shit they were talking about her, even though it was some real shit. And it broke out into an argument. So this is the argument right here.
Guys, I gotta say something. Like, I'm really upset right now.
You guys make me feel, you know, like nothing that I do or say matters and completely left out.
And I've been watching Barbie walking along the beach.
It's true.
Going in for a swim. Sun tanning on the rock. It's laziness.
Facts. If you want to suntan and go for a swim while everyone is working, of course they're gonna feel some type of way because you're not contributing to the work. You're being a leech. No one likes a leech. She seems like the type of girl that's been spoon-fed her entire life.
I'll tell you what.
You can't say all that stuff to me.
I can't.
It's not true.
You have been handed everything.
Are you kidding? I traveled the world on my own.
Ooh.
I live on my own.
Ooh.
I have not been handed anything.
You've been fed.
Does she want us to have sympathy for her for being an adult? I live on my own. I travel on my own. I pay my own bills. Okay, you're an adult.
You've been sheltered.
Tell me then.
I don't. No. My turn. My turn.
No, I
My
gotta
turn.
say something.
I have yet to see you bring anything to the table. People who come to stuff like this are survival experts, and you are nowhere near the skill set to be on something like this.
I didn't come here.
My guy right here, he's the one that's keeping it real with her. He's the one that's telling her how it is. My guy Forrest, he doesn't say much to her because he's low-key kind of a pussy. He talks behind her back. So the next day, the girls get together and have a conversation about accountability, pretty much.
Casualty, and you'll remain a casualty until you get your ass put into gear and you think about your experience here and think about everything that has been done for you and learn from it.
All right, so after this grilling session, Cassie finally decides to open up about her shortcomings. So this is the point where she actually takes accountability, and that's all we wanted this entire episode.
It's way harder, way more intense than it looks. Yeah, I have a lot of thinking and figuring out to do. Maybe I don't have strong work ethic. I was given this amazing opportunity and I feel like I just blew it.
This is the first time she's contributed something of substance to the team. And she had to be so combative before she admitted it, bro. And this is probably why she said she has a cat as a boyfriend.
I totally love cats, you know?
My cat is my boyfriend. I'm totally gonna go home right after this. But yeah, my cat, no man can beat him. That's why I don't have a boyfriend.
No one likes a combative person. No one likes a person that's hard to get along with. Especially in a relationship. You don't want to be with someone you can't get along with. You don't want to be with someone that's hard-headed and not willing to listen. If no one's willing to listen, how is the relationship going to move forward? Alright guys, that's all I have for this video. Stay tuned for the next one. Yo, what is good, guys? I got a special video for you today. What if you had a bunch of boys in one house versus a bunch of girls in another house, unsupervised? What do you think will happen? So I actually found clips from these two documentaries on TikTok. Boys Alone, Social Experiment, and then they also did a Girls Alone Social Experiment. So these documentaries were created back in the early 2000s, 2002 and 2003. And I'm gonna go ahead and take clips from these documentaries so we can see the differences between the boys and the girls, because I'm a firm believer that boys and girls, men and women are different. We're not the same. We are counterparts that's meant to work with each other. We are the two sides to the same coin. So when both boys and girls were introduced to the house, of course they had to start having their fun. And the boys also started destroying things. And this is how the girls played when they were first introduced to the house.
Chocolate!
That's cool. I know.
And my mum's gonna be appalled when she sees what I've done. It's gonna be like.
So both genders started playing around and painting on the walls. But the boys did do it at a more aggressive level than the girls. And as a result, they created a huge mess.
Badly. We were trying to explore everything at once, weren't we? Yeah, I know. And got too carried away in ourselves. Are those walls just really bugging me?
What are they doing with it?
Just really.
Like on the first day, their mess was so bad that they couldn't even clean it. They tried, but they weren't even using the right tools to begin with. And this is how it ended up going.
Futile attempts at cleaning the walls are still going on.
Do a bit more later, we need to let it dry. Yeah, I'll totally agree.
Meanwhile, the girls' mess wasn't on as big of a scale as the guys.
This time, it's Gabrielle who starts clearing up, and everyone else joins in.
As you can see, they were using cleaning products and a vacuum. I didn't see the boys using that at all. And when it comes to food and cooking, this is what the boys did.
It hasn't been an organized meal, and sugar has been the main source of sustenance. Everyone had completed a cooking course before the week began, though at this stage, you wouldn't know it.
So both genders completed a cooking course, and the best the boys could do was make cereal and drink Coke. Crazy! So this is what the girls did.
Sade tries to make cakes. Sherry takes charge of the cooking and prepares their first meal.
Onions, I'm not too keen on onions. It's okay, I won't put too many in there, okay? Thanks for getting this tea ready. Can I have some more? Do you want some more?
No.
So the boys filled up on sugar while the girls actually made a meal and had an organized dinner at the dining table. And I was actually pretty impressed. So the boys eventually divided up into two groups, the louder boys in one room and the quieter boys in the other.
The group had divided into two gangs, the noisier boys in the big bedroom and the quieter boys in the small one.
Meanwhile, the girls split up into who is the mom of the group and who are the girls that just want to like run around and have fun.
I didn't put the plug in.
So keep in mind, this challenge is going on for a week. So a few more days into the challenge, this is how it's going for the boys.
The atmosphere was becoming hysterical and aggressive. Almost everything had now been destroyed.
And this is just proof that, boys, we do need guidance. We have all this physical strength, and if it's not guided in the right way, we could destroy things. So this is why fathers are needed, because a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. Only a man can really teach a man how to be a man and how to guide his energy. So meanwhile, the boys are destroying everything. The girls are organizing fashion shows.
Nikki and Jessica organise a fashion show.
Now, here is Jessica. Go. And then we...
Let's check in on the boys.
Should we go downstairs and have an apple fight?
Alright, come on, let's go. Oh, let's go trash the place a bit more.
Okay. Alright, let's see what the girls are doing.
Charlie arranges a meeting to sort out who should do the cooking and the cleaning.
Okay, they are assigning chores. I'm impressed. Hopefully the boys do that too, man.
Oh, shit. Dropped my nose.
You know what? When I was a boy, I was kind of like that. Shit. All right, let's see what the girls are doing now.
Whoa!
Some of the girls have set up a beauty salon.
So from what I'm seeing with my own two eyes, the girls are setting up a functioning small community while the boys are just destroying everything. Shit. Damn. I'm not gonna lie, as a boy, I wasn't that destructive, but I did like to smash things. And I think a lot of boys do like doing that. Then again, I also knew how to cook because I'm Caribbean. When I was cooking when I was like 8, 9. Frying eggs, cooking rice. Alright, since we got that stuff out of the way, let's get to the more emotional stuff. In each group, there is a scapegoat. There is one individual kid that the others couldn't tolerate. They didn't like them that much. And in the girls group, it was this girl named Sade.
I just want to do something really active. They're boring.
She was the one girl that decided to annoy all the other girls out of her own enjoyment.
Go up there and annoy them and make sure they don't get to sleep.
Asleep. I'm not. Go away. Stop it, it's not funny. We're trying to get to sleep.
And she also had a pretty toxic tongue, which made a lot of girls cry in the group because, you know, girls are very sensitive.
She might have slit her wrist. Check her arms. Well, she might have. She looks ill. She looks dead.
Made the girl cry and pack up and leave. Crazy.
You're going home now? Yeah. Come back on Saturday to see you all.
And keep in mind, while all this was going on with the girl, Sade locked herself in the bathroom to get attention from the other girls.
Sade has locked herself in the bathroom.
She wants to. She wants to. What about Sade? Sade doesn't like.
So not only was she trying to annoy everyone, she was also an attention seeker. Eventually, the girls got tired of her and decided to vote against her.
If we had to vote someone out, who would it be? Sade.
Sade, I think she's annoying.
Justin, who would you vote off? She's got 7 votes.
Alright, so now let's head to the boys. So the boys' scapegoat was a kid named Michael.
Michael was made the scapegoat, and his increasingly strange behavior made him an easy target.
He was the first one to really like destroy everything and mess the place up.
Not one survived. Great warrior.
So what surprised me is that the boys grouped up and decided to go to a psychiatrist to discuss Michael's actions.
By the afternoon, the boys decided they wanted to speak to Dr. Scott, the program's child psychiatrist, about Michael.
They some snitches, man, they snitched!
In the meeting, the boys initially all turned against Michael, who watched on from his bed. He denied he'd been responsible for breaking everything. Eventually, the others agreed they were also to blame. Dr. Scott suggested the boys try to work together more as a group.
Yeah, so after the meeting, they did try to work together, they did try to team up.
Come on, Michael.
Separate how to play Manhunt. Right, let me explain Manhunt. Cheese hunt, you have to find the cheese.
I'm not playing till Michael's playing, alright? Because we're meant to be as a group.
Alright, so they got Michael included. The group is coming together now. So instead of playing a friendly game of Manhunt, they decided to do something a little bit more extreme.
The attempts to organize a group game turned instead into something more aggressive. Hunt the hedgehog.
So their first instinct is to hunt the first animal they see, instead of playing Manhunt.
Did you see that move? Inside, come away. Did you see that move?
Yeah, I saw that move.
Look, watch it move, watch it.
And this went on for a cool minute until the film crew decided to intervene. They're like, you're not killing this hedgehog, no way.
Some hedgehogs. Can't hear you, that stupid. Boom.
At this point, the film crew decided to intervene.
When I lived in Jamaica as a kid, there were a lot of lizards running around on the ground. And I'm not proud of this now, but I used to kill those lizards in any way I could. I used to just hunt those lizards and kill them and like grab them by their tails and chop their tails off. I used to do some horrible shit as a kid, as a boy. And yeah, but now I wouldn't do that shit. But I don't know what it is about us that makes us do this, you know what I'm saying? So one thing I have to give the girls props for is how they try to help each other out and cheer each other up whenever any one of them is in distress.
What's her name? Sherry's upset. Oh, is it because your pajamas are wet? What happened anyway?
They got upset because your duvet's wet.
You and your mum and dad, you want a hula hoop?
So we have this one girl, Sherry. She was pretty much the mom of the group. She cooked, she cleaned, she tried to make sure everyone ate right, and she just felt disrespected by some of the other girls on the team.
Sherry has a further reason for being upset. Earlier in the day, Gabrielle had told her she was useless.
Imagine being called useless when you contributed the most to the group. This actually made her pack her bags and leave the house early. To be honest, I would have left too.
This is
I do like the fact that most of the girls came to comfort her and try to make her feel better. And meanwhile, this is how the boys will handle like a situation.
Robert, are you my friend? Wow. Are you my friend? Are you my friend, Robert? Robbie, come on, should we put this all behind us?
So as you can see, he left and they didn't try to follow him or try to cheer him up. So now we are at the end of the challenge. So this is where the parents come to get their kids back. And look at the differences between how the parents of the boys reacted versus the parents of the girls.
Why did you trash the place?
Oh, because we just got annoyed.
Annoyed with what?
Everything, basically.
What an experience. You did really, really well. Fantastic. It looked a real mess.
Thank you.
Proud of that wave. Yep.
Did you make anything? Just break things.
I've seen everything.
Hello,
Shani. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so lovely to see you. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
You alright? Oh, really.
This was a fun video to watch to see the differences between the boys and the girls. The girls managed to come together more often. They were softer, they were more nurturing, but they could also be very emotionally abusive. Whereas the boys were more aggressive, more physical, destroyed a lot more things. And they weren't as together enough times as the girls were. But they did do well in selecting a leader and restoring order as a substitute to having parents earlier on in the challenge.
Who voted for George?
3 people, that's healthy, that's healthy.
Who voted for me?
Who voted
for
George? You're our
leader.
So they elected George as the new leader. And the first thing George did was write down everyone's complaints. And most of those complaints were about, guess who? Michael. This world could not survive if it was only men, and it wouldn't survive if it was only women. We need each other to balance each other out, man. We can't have too much or too little of the other. So really, it's not boys versus girls. It's not men versus women. It's acknowledging our differences, what makes us different, and seeing how those differences complement each other. And somewhere along the lines, that is getting misconstrued. People are starting to blur the lines between men and women, and it's confusing us. That's why more and more relationships are just failing. We gotta work at our strengths and acknowledge our differences, because that's how we're gonna make this society flourish. With that said, I'll see you on the next video, man.